Cynthia Colon. I'm the co-owner of Organic Sofrito Lady, and this is my mother, Frida Colon. So while I'm blabbing, she will be putting out some samples for you guys today. We have, so our product is Organic Sofrito, and I'll be talking about what exactly Sofrito is in just a moment. So our Sofrito is tossed on tomatoes and cucumbers, so you can gauge the flavor of that. That's going to be coming around. And we also have some of our everything sauce. Our everything sauce is vegan, made with the vegan mayonnaise base, has organic sofrito in it with a little bit of chipotle for a little bit of a kick. It is gluten-free, dairy-free, and the chips that the everything sauce is on is also gluten-free for anybody who is conscious of those allergies. All right, so we'll get started. Okay. Shake. All right, so like I said, I'm Cynthia, and our company is Organic Sofrito. Organic Sofrito Lady. How this came about, we've made sofrito for years. It's, like everybody says, your grandmother's recipe. In 2017, I started a new job, April of 2017, and the holidays came around, and everybody started to give out gifts that were homemade in the office. And I thought, what did I walk into? Like, what, now I have to, like, you know, I have to make a homemade gift for 15 people, right? So I sat down with Mom and I said, you know, what can I make? What can we do? So she says, well, I'm sure all of them cook. Let's make sofrito. And we'll put it in a nice jar, we'll make it pretty and give it as a gift. I said, that's a fantastic idea. I said, but there's at least 3 of my colleagues that are strictly organic. So I said, well, let's try to make it organic. And she says, I don't know how to do that. I have no idea. So I said, well, let's go to the stores and let's try to find those ingredients. And we did. And there came about our organic sofrito. This little guy right here. And if you want, I'll pass one down this way so you can see the jars. And I'll pass this around. All right, and so it was born CNF Organic Sofrito. And I promise I'll be quick. All right, so what exactly is sofrito? So my mother and I, our family, we're from Puerto Rico, born and raised in New York, so technically we're New Yorkers. So sofrito, we've been making sofrito. My grandmother made it with her mother, my mother made it with her mother, and I've had the privilege of making it with my mother and daughter. But when we went to the stores to look for the ingredients, organic, it was difficult to find culantro. So anybody here is familiar with sofrito? Anybody know what culantro is? Right, it's the cousin of cilantro, but it's a prominent ingredient in traditional sofrito. And it was difficult to find that organic. Actually, it was impossible unless we knew a grower. So I said, let's go with these ingredients here. And if you could see a little clearer here, our ingredients are organic cilantro, organic sweet onions, organic green peppers, organic garlic, organic oregano, and organic extra virgin olive oil. And that was it. And we tweaked the ratio, and we came out with a perfect recipe. And that was our sofrito. Now, so when we started this whole venture, and people ask, what exactly is it? I would start talking about Latinos and what sofrito is, and people would go, okay, all right, it's really intimidating. And then I changed my pitch and I said, well, it's a plant-based way to season your cooking. That sounds fantastic, tell me more about it. And that's how we've been engaging our customers. So as I listed here, it's means to a clean flavor. And it's vegan, it's keto and paleo friendly. It's definitely convenient. It's all the ingredients that you'd probably chop every single day to cook, every night. And it's tradition for us and for a lot of our customers as well. And it's plant-based. And that's kind of the trend right now, you know, clean eating, plant-based, something that's sustainable. All right, biggest question that I know even Michael has asked me, how do I use it, right? So
I put it in eggs. It's the only thing I can make.
Put it on your pancakes.
yeah, so as we say, right, as we tell our customers, you can use it in everything but your cereal. And when I start, so I'm also very careful with who I'm speaking to, right? So if I'm talking to someone who's vegan and I tell them you can use this as a base for a marinade for your roast, I've just lost you, right? I've lost you. So I ask, well, what do you cook often? oh, well, I'm a meat guy. So then I'm gonna tell you all the different ways that you can use this. You can rub it onto your ribs, you can put it into your meatballs, you can put it into your lobes, put it onto your turkey in a few weeks, right? Or if somebody says, I am vegan, then I'll say, well, this is a great means to flavor any vegetable dishes. A nice one sheet pan, like a sheet pan dinner, right? With some nice root vegetables, some potatoes, throw some organic sofrito on there, extra virgin olive oil, some sea salt. There is no salt, no sugar, no preservatives in the sofrito. So you add your own salt as you go along. And that's kind of the idea, that you have control of that. And your food will, your vegetables, at least when you roast them, are gonna come out like candy. So these are some ways. We've had customers tell us that they put it on their corn and roasted some corn with the sofrito, and then topped it, drizzled it with some everything sauce and made Mexican street corn. They've made whatever your protein is, whether you're making vegan burgers, regular burgers, tacos. I've had customers tell me that they put it on their salmon, saute their shrimp, the usual rice and beans, and then off to our everything sauce. So when we first started this whole deal, I thought, I'm not going to be clearing people's palates and giving them little tablespoons of sofrito all day while we're trying to sell this. So our samples, as you guys tasted, was what we started with. We put some sofrito on the tomatoes and cucumbers, and then at home we played with recipes, and I came up with this everything sauce. And my kids loved it, my fiance was nuts over it, and we served it as a sample at the market. Let me scooch over. We served it as a sample at the market. Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, I just figured I'd ask for it.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Yep, and we're on Instagram, and it's Organic Sofrito Lady. So we are at the farmers market, and our first market is, our only market is the Port Jefferson farmers market. And at that market is where we had our everything sauce out, and people would say, oh, well, where is that? I want that. And I would say, oh, no, I just made it so you can see how to use the sofrito. And they'd say, well, I don't want to go home and make it. I just want to take the jar, go home and eat. So with that, I said, well, let's start jarring, and at least we have two products. And lo and behold, our everything sauce is what sells out first. I want to say 90% of the time at the market. So we just did our first full year at the Port Jefferson Farmers Market. And I want to say we've probably sold out almost just about 90% of the time that we're there. Yeah, so we're very lucky, and it's been a great run. And so these are our customers. You know, who are we marketing to? So, like I said before, it is organic. So a lot of customers that have specialty diets, people who are vegan, vegetarian, they're keto, paleo. I don't think anybody's Atkins anymore, right? Atkins became paleo, keto, right? I don't know. My body chose to be dairy. I'm sorry?
Atkins became dead. He slept, hit his
I
head.
heard the poor guy.
When his diet?
Rest in peace. So people who are dairy-free, gluten-free, this is a great means to add flavor to your food, and those are a lot of our customers that we're meeting at farmers markets. So they're looking for clean ways to eat and kind of just reduce the inflammation in their body and just start to just feel good. And foodies. I love meeting foodies because we're at the in Port Jefferson. We meet a lot of people who are tourists, people who are traveling, people from different countries. And they will say, how can I get this on the plane? I'll say, wrap it up in a sock, put it in your suitcase. I don't know what to tell you. and then basically anybody who likes to cook, anybody who pretty much chops anything to cook, right? All right, so my last one I put here is Latinos. In this past year, we've met a good amount of Latinos that have come to our table, and they'll say, Sofrito, this is exciting. And then they'll start testing us, like they want to how official really are you, Does it have culantro? And I'll say no, because I couldn't find it organic. Oh, okay. And then they'll, they have some respect for our product. So what's next? All right. So in thinking about this, and it was really helpful, I have to say, to put this presentation together because you have all these thoughts and ideas and plans in your head, and you don't really get an opportunity to put it down on paper in such a way. So for phase one, we have to go through product testing. And if you could see, really can't see here, but these jars here have plastic caps, so we're going to look to switch back to metal. So there's a few different processes that we'll have to take a look at. And then phase two, I do like the experience that we've had at the markets. It's instant feedback. I do love to talk to people. I love meeting new people. We have such great ideas from our customers, and I want to move into the city. So we're Brooklyn girls, and I cannot wait to get into a Brooklyn farmers market, get into the city, Long Island City, get into Manhattan, and not because it's a trend, but I just feel that is the best way to get the word out. It's the best way to market. It's the best way to talk, to get to know your customers, and even just get that instant feedback. So phase three is to scale up. We've met with a co-packer. They are phenomenal. And in meeting with them, I realized that we do have a few more steps that we have to take before getting to them. I do want to take these steps slowly to make any mistakes at at a small scale, so that we do this organically, pun intended. And online sales, we get all the time, can I order this please? I'm not from here, I'm just visiting, this is amazing, I can't, our biggest competitor is Goya. That's it. I've had food consultants from LA reach out to me. Got it.
Send it this way.
I've had food consultants from LA
We didn't get that on this
who helped launch Beyond Burger and said to me, you're standing on something great, and you don't have an immediate competitor. Your biggest competitor is Goya, and you better be careful because they'll be watching you. And when you're ready to move out to the West Coast, give us a call, and we're ready to move. So we know that we stumbled on something. I don't know if stumbling is the best word. I think it kind of a light was shined on this, and we're ready to kind of take any motion that comes our way and keep it moving for as long as that path is open, right? And I tell my mom, if whatever comes out of this, at least we have a good story to tell our kids and grandkids that we did something together, So phase two, phase three, online sales, distributors. I have big eyes. So Amazon Fresh, looking to get into stores, start with small organic markets. Again, not looking to jump into Whole Foods. I'd like to kind of just stay low key, get the word out, get a nice big following, and then slowly scale. And local chain stores. And then phase four, that's my really big venture that I discussed with you, Michael, is looking to partner with national brands and expand into new markets. And if that's something that I could share here, it's get into new markets and have individual packets of Sofrito and everything sauce, and look to partner with like Blue Apron and at-home retails like that. And so now fundraising and investors. Fundraising versus investors. What are the pros? What are the cons? A little bit of one, a little bit of the other. What's a good percentage one or the other? A lot of you know my 9 to 5, so you're gonna laugh when I say I have no idea where to start.
We may be able to get you a grant.
I don't know from where. I didn't put my away message up, so don't email me. And that's us. It's a product that we believe in and we use often at home. We do have a lot of allergies at home, so this has been a great way for us. For me personally, I'm gluten and dairy free. I'm going on 10 years. So when my family orders pizza, I want to kick them in the shin. Or when we order Chinese food they tease me, but I have to get steamed chicken and steamed vegetables. And then I take it aside and I put it in a pan with some sofrito, maybe a little bit of vegan mayonnaise, and I jazz it up, and then everybody goes, "Oh, can I have some?" Nope, stick to your lo mein, thank you. So it's been a great venture so far. I think we've just taken a few steps, but with those few steps, I believe strongly that we see a strong, long path ahead of us that's got some positivity to it.
How much can you produce?
Right, what's the most that we've done so far? 6 dozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 6 dozen, and we've gotten that down to about 4 hours. So we've been testing it out. We have our ratios. We have, I have all of my, I want to say equations in order, ready to scale.
So you doing it at home?
Well, so right now, because of my my ties to economic development, unfortunately, it's I can't use a lot of the resources that I'm tied to. So right now we are working with it's a Lutheran church in Patchogue on Main Street that they do have a valid FDA certified kitchen. They run a soup kitchen on Sundays, and they do rent that out to small manufacturers. So we're meeting with them next week. So it just came down, a few weeks ago that we had to kind of look elsewhere than Calverton. So, and we're okay with that. If we're going to take this venture, we're going to do it like big girls with, the road less traveled. So right now it's in Patchogue, and that's where we'll be. So hopefully they're going to come back to us to tell us if we can rent a room, because it essentially was a school that closed down this year. So they were looking to at least rent some of the rooms and kind of help themselves with some extra revenue. So I'm hoping that everything comes back thumbs up from the board.
Okay, what is your cost of production? What is your retail price?
So cost is, we've got it down to about $2.10, and at the market we sell it for $7, 3 for $20.
Now, if you're doing 4 hours for 72 units, that's costing you, assuming you're paying $100 for the session, that's costing you more than $1 per jar just to rent the space.
That's right.
So the economies of scale very clearly are there.
Right.
What is it that's so intensive that takes 4 hours to do this? Is it the cooking? Like if you wanted to do a gross rather than 72 units, tell us what the difference is. Could you do 144 in 10 minutes more?
So the answer to your question is, it's just her and I. So it's her and I processing, cleaning, and we small batch. And I have a little bit of OCD, so when I go through the cilantro, I'm very particular. And if I tell you that our organic sofrito, it's clean, it is clean. So with that, and that was kind of something that I didn't want to let go when we met with the co-packer, because I move slowly. But within that 4-hour interval that we went through, I still went slowly, but then we sped up with, well, if we do this first, this will go faster, So we kind of like assessed our process and looked to kind of tidy up. But it is just her and I. So with that, if we scale up, we have a larger space, we have a larger mixer, we have larger sinks, we have more people. So I have all of those ingredients. I think we just need, I think it's funding is where we would have to start.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of our members is a hydroponic grower in Garden City, and hooking up there, you're not gonna have to worry about the cleanliness of the product.
Well, so that's something else that we've considered. So we have been looking at a few growers in hydroponic systems, which is interesting because I did start to talk to customers about that, and if I can get feedback from anybody here, some people said to me, really, hydroponic? Is that really organic? And I was a little taken back, and I thought, what better way for you to monitor
Sure.
your plants and what you're growing? But like anything, you can't make everybody happy, right? So as long as I can partner with a grower that can get us what we need in the volume that we need, and maybe even if we can get that culantro and you know, really have a traditional organic sofrito, you know, and if we can grow it on Long Island, that would be fantastic. Right now, all of our ingredients are bought at Whole Foods. So that's just, well, it has been comparable to like ShopRite and
Still the best.
and what's the other, yeah, it's still the best. Ever since they partnered with Amazon, we saw the prices drop significantly. Yeah.
It's a great
Yes, sir.
product.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yes,
I
Ron.
just wanna, I was supported when I started my juice company, I was in the same way. You're not there yet, and you will figure it out. When I first started, I did 25 bottles, held on to everything. Now with my team, we do about 3,000-4,000 a week, and I can get it down, I've done it in a day or two.
Wow.
So as you grow, you'll figure it out.
You figure it
As to
out.
This question, it's a step. When you start a company, you start a product, you learn to let go of certain things and work. And when you have the demand, so when she has demand, when she has orders coming in, like, listen, you gotta get,
Yeah.
500, jars out.
Yeah, you figure it
Then you
out.
start
Figure it out,
figuring things
yeah.
out. Well, do I need to chop all this? Can I buy it already? If I.
But you're lucky,
where can I-
because you also have a good product, and that's,
You want
that's
introduce
great.
it?
I know, yeah.
Give a little
Yeah.
language, tell me.
Yeah.
I'm Ron, I'm from the Six Juice Company. I make juices, I'm the juice man.
Thank you,
So I
Ron.
understand,
Great
I
product.
understand that, thank you, I appreciate that. When you learn, you have to grow that way, because if something was happening to my company, I could rebuild it from scratch again with my eyes closed.
That's right.
So she's learning and she will get there. Simple thing now with jars.
Yeah.
So even as far as having to switch jars, because if somebody buys a product and they cut themselves with her glass jar, they're gonna come back and sue her. So
That's right.
So you learn all
Right.
these little obstacles, but she will go as the company demands, which is she's doing it the right way. And then she'll learn to relinquish less.
It's a challenge, but yes, thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Yes,
Everything past the
sir.
OCD.
First they'll say stick.
Yes.
I like the glass jar.
Well, thank you for that.
Stick
Thank
with
you.
that. I'd also suggest when you're moving into New York City, WeWorks has a food lab now, both in New York City and in Brooklyn. And it's all small entrepreneurs trying to get up. And you don't have to be there all the time. They have plans where you can just, when you need to come, you come.
Oh, okay,
There's
great.
a lot of seminars, and they will make introductions to the markets.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. So it's a great point because we tried. I love all the hands up. Thank you so much. We did try. Let me just back here, which is funny. Which is a great point as to that instant feedback from the market. So I thought, when you get your hummus, you get them in these kind of like horizontal containers. So we found them. I thought they looked really exciting. We got some really nice labels, slapped them on, put them at the market, and people went right over them and went for the glass. I kept them at the same price to start. And I said, well, they're the same price, but you get a few more, you get a little bit more in this. That's okay, I'll take the glass. Okay. Next week, I did fresh batch, but I said, okay, let's do it maybe $1 less and let's see how it goes. Still nothing. And I said, okay. So then that batch of plastic containers became gifts. And then we went right back to glass. Yeah, so I appreciate that. Yes, sir.
I have a bunch of contacts in Queens and Brooklyn through the Queens Courier. They do lots of farmers market kind of
Oh, fantastic.
things. I'll connect you to.
Excellent, thank you very much.
You're buying your ingredients from Whole Foods,
Yes,
so your cost factor is really high because you're buying retail.
and we're buying small.
Right.
A
so
small
once
amount,
you-
quantity.
Once you figure it out, how to get it via wholesale, your cost is gonna drop significantly.
Yes, and that's something that we had talked about with the co-packer. So it helped us to pull in more realistic ideas in our horizon in meeting with the co-packer. And they said, obviously you're banging out 6 dozen, and it probably cost me about $50 to buy the batch. But then it's also caps and jars are about 58 cents.
So your packaging cost is gonna be your.
So right, and then
I
that
can
will
get them to you
also.
for 6 cents. I got it, we'll talk, I could get them a lot cheaper for you.
So that's thank
And
you.
you wanna go with art,
Teamwork,
you
teamwork.
gotta go with art pet, because they're phasing out plastic, but art pet is actually a resin based, so like they get the plastic from landfills, reuse it, it's 100% recyclable. If they break it down, it goes down into pellets, doesn't affect the environment. So you can use plastic, which will save time and weight and shipping and everything else. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and that's something else. We've gotten a huge request from our customers to ship, and they don't care where it's coming from. They want it in the mail.
Yeah.
But how do I ship cold? How do I ship cold glass?
Oh, it needs to be refrigerated?
I have your card right up front for the list.
About
Fantastic.
The actress? You were telling me the actress out of Chicago?
Oh yes. So when we started to look for the little bit of marketing that I have in me, I went on to Instagram and I was just looking at all the hashtags. Who was popping up with what hashtags? What is going to be ours? And so I used hashtag organic sofrito lady. Even when we were looking for our name, I wanted something that represented what we did, but also a little unique. There was nobody that had organic sofrito lady. So be it, and that became us. The hashtag organic sofrito popped up an actress. She is a writer. She is a comedian. She is Puerto Rican, and she lives on Long Island. And so I followed her. She followed me. She said, "Whoa, who are you? And what is your product?" So through social media, we became very friendly, and followed each other. And so her play was in Chicago. And the local Chicago News asked her, so I guess she does a simulation of cooking while doing her play and comedy. But to push her show, to plug her show, they wanted her to do a live cooking demo on their morning show, their morning TV show. And she called me and she says, "Hey, do you ship? Do you know?" And I said, "I do not. We're not there yet." And she says, "Dang," she goes, "because I want to use your organic sofrito and plug you in the morning show as she's talking to me, I'm in my car.
Fly to Chicago and cook it for her.
Book the next flight.
I'm trying to keep my cool on the phone with her. I'm all verklempt. I'm like, you don't even know who I am. You've never met me. You've never even tried my product. And she says, "Look, I follow you, and what comes across social media, what comes across through your family and through your product." She says, "I'm also a Latina. I'm a mom, and I have a business." She says, "I know what it is, and it's coming across so strong that I want to do this. I think," and I was just, how do I hug you and kiss you and give you tons of sofrito? So that right there was, to myself, I thought, "Chick, what are you doing?" You need to let's go. People are chomping at the bit, and we need to jump. And I think that's where we are. We're kind of on a ledge right now, afraid to jump. But I know that once we do jump, there's going to be a lot of support, and our wings are going to open up. So, but again, it was kind of that idea that we don't really know where to start. And because of my 9 to 5, I kind of have to take that road less traveled. So, I'm ready to take on. We are ready to take on that challenge.
So if you vacuum pack with the top on, does that need to be refrigerated or only after opening?
So the first step is to find the equipment that I can use to test the vacuum seal. So that's been a challenge because a few places that I've called has not had it.
Yeah, but what he's saying is, will you be shelf stable then?
Oh, so that's part of the
Yeah,
testing.
okay.
That's part of the testing. So the idea is once we have the proper equipment to test with the metal cap, then our goal is to become shelf stable, because then at least shipping is going to be, at least one component is going to be off the table.
This is a beautiful story that ought to be up on our website, because as we look at the crossover to use someone from the group for hydroponic growing, use someone within the group for the testing, the shipping and packaging, that's something that we can get within the group, and they're just A to Z, cradle to grave. We got it covered.
Oh, we don't mind to be the test baby?
Sure.
I would suggest that you research companies that sell vacuum seal testing equipment.
We
Reach
have.
out to them and say,
They'll let you
who
know.
customer do you have on Long Island
Oh, that's a good point.
who might be able to do
Are you-
this for me?
And we do have somebody else that does equipment for packaging, but that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Same
I would
idea.
say, instead of trying to go out to each individual co-packer, do you do this, do you do this, do you do this?
You're
No.
right. You're right. I should just
You
do
know,
the reverse.
I'm gonna call up XYZ company and answer the sales department and say, "Hey, I see your stuff online. Who on Long Island uses it?"
Good point, good point.
Give me, I'm looking to use somebody, help them out.
That's right,
Good.
that's right. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Have you thought about using tubes for shipping? You know, I've seen like pesto, you know,
Oh,
all
yeah.
types of things, not, you know, long tubes.
Oh, I see,
They do
yes.
in Italy, you know,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
have different
Yeah.
types of ingredients. It's very easy to put the ingredient in.
And to just squeeze it out.
Yeah, and squeeze it out, and you know, not you know, I'm not sure if it's metalish.
It is, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah,
Maybe
that's a good
that's
idea. I'd never thought of that.
It's an idea for shipping, and it'd be easy for manufacturing to put it in the tube.
To put it in the tube. That's a great idea.
Why don't you do
Thank
zip
you.
pouches, and then you can also freeze them? How does Goya do it? Look how they do it.
So what I had thought of for shipping is the vertical, like it's not plastic. It's almost like what you would find when you buy the refill for your soap, right? And it
Yeah.
stands up, but it's a soft packaging that has like the pouch. Yeah. So I thought about those pouches for delivery, because then those we can scale and we can do 8, 10, 16, 32, and the pouches come larger depending on, you know, if it's a restaurant purchasing it or if it's someone at home looking to get, you know, a 12 or, 16 ounce. So, but those are great ideas. Thank you very
I
much.
just see you do it like with a caulking gun to put it on your food.
I saw another hand.
Listen, we can talk.
Cynthia, how does it freeze?
So, thank you for that. So the organic sofrito itself freezes very well. It's all organic herbs. So if anybody makes their own pesto, it freezes exactly the same. It freezes.
comes out, it tastes basically.
It comes out the same. Now, our product is raw. So we recommend that, let's say if you were to purchase this, it's good for about 3 to 4 weeks in the refrigerator. And that's just us personally using it. Now, if you were my cousin, I'd say, listen, it's good for probably like 6 to 8 weeks in the refrigerator, right? Because it already has those natural preservatives, and it's in the refrigerator. But when you freeze it, we recommend you freeze it in a dedicated ice tray or in individual baggies, and then you're good for about 6 to 8 months.
Okay, because I'm thinking like, I'm seeing this image here, and like, wow, well, if you guys ever ramp up production and everything, and get these things going and distribute it all over the world and whatnot, I can see these, cardboard boxes just full of this
Thank
stuff.
you, thank you.
Perfectly going right into all these, like it's.
Thank you. So similar to 5 Ingredients, Eat Mud, so they sell their product frozen. We kind of we threw that idea around because it would last much longer and would ship frozen.
You can chilled it.
But then what happens is the texture is slightly different when it defrosts.
Crystals.
And it's not, it crystallizes, and it's not something that is going to be appealing to the eye when you want to make your, because you could use the sofrito to make a salad dressing base. You can use it in your tomatoes and cucumbers, raw. But once it's defrost, we recommend that you use it in your cooked dishes, sautés, and your marinades and so forth. So there is kind of that component that we would have to consider.
I know that your plan is phase 3 is your website. In phase 3, I think.
A website we have up already.
Okay, so do you put recipes up on that?
So that is something that, yes, I have recipes up, yes.
Okay. Because otherwise the Latino community understands it, but the Irish community doesn't.
Right, exactly. So we do. So we have little flyers that we have at the market, and we have people either they take a photo of it or on our website it lists what you can do with it. And I was thinking even having a little booklet, especially for the holidays, and that's
Yep.
something with recipes or how-tos to go along with it. So, yeah. Everybody got a taste of both?
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.